So I've just started a recording for now, and I see Jennifer just came in. Good morning, Jennifer. We got 10 attendees. Okay. Somebody's just joining. I'll give them just a second. So, all right, Brittany's back in. So if you have any problems dropping out, like Brittany, I can see that your signal is a little bit questionable. Just come out, come back in. I can see when people have been in and out, and if you're having extreme difficulties, email me in the background and I'll try to catch it there. But just keep coming back in if you're having issues. In the meantime, if I can get everybody to mute their microphones, to do so, you just click on your microphone icon in the bottom middle. Otherwise, if we get too many people talking at the same time, we start getting a lot of feedback. Real quickly, my name is Donnie Bartley. I teach MATC at the South Campus. I also teach Blackboard and electrical, occasionally software programs when they start coming out. I just finished school myself. I just graduated from UW Stout with my EDD in Career and Technical Education Leadership. So I'm basically going mental because I don't know what to do with myself, all the free time that I have now. But I'll figure that part out. But it's been nice to finally get finished and have a life again. So today we're going to be talking about Introduction to Blackboard. Blackboard is the online learning management platform that we use here at the Milwaukee Area Technical College to not only use for online courses, obviously, but I want to make sure everybody walks away today and next week or from this course knowing that you can effectively use it in face-to-face classes as well. And I've even had those that say, well, my class is 100% lab, and that's okay. I have a class that I just ran last semester that is 100% lab, and I will show you bits and pieces of it as well, that I effectively used it as a supportive tool for that particular class. So there's ways and benefits to Blackboard, and the uniqueness of Blackboard is it works differently for everyone. So there's always something for someone, regardless of how much or how little you use it. Obviously, there's some minimum expectations with MATC, but I typically will tell people that Blackboard is like a shelf full of shiny objects. You're not going to want to grab the whole shelf full. You're going to want to hand pick the things that fit you best. So think of Blackboard as a la carte. You got your base menu that you're going to get, but then there's extras to go along with it that you'll find that you like more than others. And a lot of times there's no right or wrong to picking one thing versus another. So, all right. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to share my screen. So you're going to lose, I'm going to lose pictures of you with your hands up or anything like that. I see that there's a brand new feature in Blackboard that I got to figure out myself that I think is going to give me an alert that somebody raises their hand. Let me share my screen, and I'll just go ahead and start with that. You're going to see something called an infinity window. That's okay. We're going to work around that because as soon as I start flipping around, you'll see it switch to other things. And actually, there it is. Okay. So the new feature that I was talking about is here. So Brittany, do me a favor. In the bottom middle of your screen, you see a raised hand icon. Click on that. I want to just see what it shows me. Now, see if I'm not on the screen, I'm not going to see you. I'll hear the noise, but then I'll ask who raised their hand. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to our other course, our live course. So before I talk about anything, let me talk about the particular browsers that you need to be in for working with Blackboard. The number one supported browser that everybody seems to work with and it works the best is Google Chrome. Mozilla Firefox works well with it. I don't know enough about Edge, Microsoft Edge, but I have not heard anything bad about it. So very likely that that would work as well. But the main one everybody's using is Chrome. But a lot of people also use Mozilla Firefox as well. Now I will cue you in on a trick that I've seen when you run into weird errors in Blackboard that don't seem to make much sense. Sometimes your cache, the hidden files, the collected files, the cookies and different things like that that are behind the scenes in Google Chrome can sometimes cause issues in Blackboard. It's rare, but it does happen from time to time. So if you run into something that's just weird and does not seem to make any sense, try clearing your history. That clears your cache. To do so, you would hit Control H. That'll bring you into your history, and then you'd be able to clear everything out from there. Then refresh, come out of Blackboard completely, come back in, and hopefully that solves a problem. So remember that kind of as a Control-Alt-Delete in your life with Blackboard and Google Chrome. Okay, so when you log into Blackboard, you land here on the institution page. So the first thing that we're going to look at several things on this area, but the first one we're going to look into is the Courses tab. So right here, I'm going to click on Courses, and that brings me into a whole bunch of different things that I have going on. You're going to see different things up here. I'm in certain people's classes. I am not only a Blackboard liaison, I'm a course reviewer. So if you're developing a new course, you'll get sent to our department where we will put you through a review that's been specified by the college. There are current talks right now that a normal review cycle for everybody's courses is somehow going to be put into effect. We went through a massive online course review when we first shifted to COVID. That kind of ran its course. We're in flux right now. There's a particular committee out there called the Learn Pillar Integration Committee that is currently tasked with trying to figure out how to move forward with course reviews. So it's in everybody's best interest, in your own, in your students, in requirements to the college to just get as good as you can in Blackboard. Um, It'll help your students and help you in the long run anyway. Okay, so when you land on the courses page, there's tons of different things that you can and can't do. First thing you'll notice is in my screen, you see a bunch of pictures, but in somebody else's screen, you might see this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this right here. See the courses listed horizontally. This is called list view. And you can see this black box with the three white horizontal lines in it. That brings you into list view. Card view, which is the box right next to it, the black window pane, if you will. If you click on that, that brings you into, these are called cards. So this is called card view. There's no right or wrong. It depends on what somebody's preference is. My preference, I like the cards. I like the boxes with the pictures. You can customize them. As you can see, I'm ex-Navy, so this was my second ship that I was on. It does get a little convoluted though. Don't get your heart set too much on a particular picture because you're limited extremely by the size and shape of it. So if I hover in this right-hand corner here, I see a black box with three white dots. If I click on that, I have the ability to edit the course image. By doing so, it brings up this menu, and you can see that the image size is 1200 by 240 pixels. So if you have a normal picture that is more squarish, it's going to stretch it out. Like my ship shown here is pretty stretched out. That's not normal how it looks. So don't get your heart too set on a particular image. The reason for this is we're kind of straddling two different worlds right now. We are straddling the traditional Blackboard version, which is 9 point something or other, and the world of Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So in Blackboard, there are literally two different versions. This newer version called Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and the old version, which is inside of our courses right now, is just the traditional Blackboard. So we're straddling the two worlds because we have Ultra's front door. So the entrance to the courses, all these screens that we're looking at right now, this is Ultra View. Once we go inside of a course, then it's the normal traditional Blackboard. This is going to get weird over the next couple years because there is serious talk about within the next 2 years of switching completely over to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. That's going to be a little uncomfortable for a lot of people because there's going to be a significant amount of changes. Myself included, I'm going to have to learn a whole bunch of new things as well. A lot of the core functions will remain the same, but there are going to be a lot of differentiations. But back to this, the reason why the picture is stretched, because we're straddling these two worlds, this image area here is the same image area that's inside the course called a banner, and the code between the two different versions doesn't play nice, and it stretches it out. So whatever you do here is going to affect something called a banner inside the course, and if you do something to the banner inside the course, it will affect your picture in your card view. So there are no easy fixes. If you're really good at graphic image editing, you can create an image that fits that pixel size, but that's way beyond my technical ability and the scope of this course. All right, so what can we do in this particular area? You have some different tabs up here. We have upcoming courses. I can start switching back and forth, current, ultra training courses that I'm in, and different things that are available. Instead of these two side tabs, we can go to the central one and pick what we're most interested in. So if I were looking for summer 2022 courses, which we're in, here's our live course here. If I'm looking for all my current courses, I would pull that tab up. So that's that feature there. You also have a very easy search feature here. So if I want to look just for all my 197 courses, I can just type 197 in, and it brings up anything that's 197. So again, because I'm in other people's courses, I'm seeing, different things going on. But anything 197 would pop up. I can also modify the search parameters further and say just the courses that I teach. And unfortunately, because I've been added as an instructor to other people, that didn't help me there. I can go to open courses, private courses, and then there's something called hidden from me. If you have not hidden anything from yourself yet, you will not have this option. But if you have hidden some stuff, you can open that up and see different things that are in the hidden area. When you hide something from yourself, that doesn't make it go away completely. It simply takes it off your list here. So if I don't want to hide somebody else's course, let me find one of my own courses. Oh, I gotta get out of people's stuff. I don't like being in all these people's. All right, so let's go with this. So here is an old course from 2020 that I don't want to see anymore. So I can come to the three dots and I can click on Hide Course. Hide Course simply sticks it behind the scenes. It doesn't delete it. You can't delete your courses. It's impossible. By clicking Hide, it will just simply disappear from the list. However, if I go to hidden from me, I will see it there. 114 2020, and there it is right there. So you're not making it go away permanently, it's just hiding it behind the scenes. So that will help you minimize the stuff that you're seeing in your list. So what else can you do? Before, this course was sitting in my upcoming courses, but I wanted it front and center. So I did something called the favorites. See this purple star right here in the corner? By clicking on a star, let's see, I'm gonna go find another one. Let's say that I wanted my electrical fundamentals to be at the top of my course list so I could find it every semester. I can simply click on the star button and it will move it up. Let me get back to my first page. So I should see it right there. So it has put it front and center at the top. So this is what I do every semester when I'm ready. I will go find all my courses that I'm going to be teaching that semester and simply star them. And that way, when I log into Blackboard and I click on courses, they are always right in front of me. I don't have to go digging for them and searching for them. So I spend 5 minutes at the beginning of every semester starring all the courses that I'll be teaching, and it leaves them right up in the front and the top every time I come in looking for them. So, and at the end of the semester, when I'm done with them, I simply click the star and it will move it off and shove it back down the list somewhere else. So I still got a couple of my old ones up. I left them here so I could come in and out of them and show you a few things today. And then I'm an oddball because I'm a liaison. I've got 4 test courses that I use for different teaching of Blackboard. What else do we have on the courses page? You can change how many items are on each page. When you go to open or close a course, there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can open or close a particular course. So I am the type of instructor that does not like to sit and ramble the whole time. I like to walk the room. I like to pick on people. And even in a virtual environment, I can pick on people. So let me get one volunteer that can tell me one way to open or close your course. Go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, who just raised their hand?
Joanne.
Joanne, give me one way that I can open or close my course.
You can use the strobe bar on the tools side and go down to the bottom and close. Sign out.
No. We need to open and close a particular course
Oh.
to allow the students to see it or not see it.
Oh, then you're gonna go to the button at the top right. What is it called? It's
So right here.
make a course available or hide a course.
Yep. So right here, let me make sure I'm messing with the right one here. So here's an old course that I just taught. I can hide it. So now the students can't see it. Where'd you go? Ah, crap. I just screwed up. Who can tell me how I just screwed up? What did I just do? Let's see how many people are paying close attention.
You hid it from yourself and not from the student.
Yes, I did. Exactly. but I can go find it real easy. Here it is. So seeing as we just stumbled into this learning opportunity, how can I unhide it from myself? Anybody take a shot at that? I can show course right here. So 3 dots, show course. Now it should be back in my lineup. And there it is, right back in front and center. So I apologize for that. So how do I make a course available? Go ahead. Who just raised their hand? Go ahead.
This is Brittany. I did not raise my hand, but I would say you make it private.
Yes, so I've just hid it from the students. You make this course private. Students can see it on the course. They cannot access it. So now that course is private. To make it available, we open the course, open the students. Okay, that's one method. I know 3 more. Anybody take another shot?
Isn't there also a way within the course to set like date parameters, like to make it available by a certain date, to open the course? So that would be under resources, I believe, or on your control panel course tools, and then you can set like if you want it to be available on a certain date and time.
Okay, very, very close. So the one this is Brittany, right?
Nope, this is Lisa. This is
I'm
Lisa.
sorry, Lisa. All right, Lisa is absolutely right. We're definitely in the right area. We are going to go inside. There's an old school way that is, and a new school way. Both of them are right here at customization, properties. And if we scroll down, I'll do this a couple times. I can make the course available, yes or no. But nowadays, we also have something called set course duration. I'm going to talk about this here, seeing as we're in front of it, but I'm also going to revisit it a little bit later in the lessons. So the first original way we made courses available, unavailable, was come here, set availability, yes or no. But nowadays, we have to contend with set course duration. When you have a new course, it automatically defaults by Blackboard to select dates, and it has the actual start date and end date of our course according to class scheduling. Now, the workaround for opening up your course early, which a lot of people do, is to click on Use Term Duration. So that will automatically allow you to open or close the course at will, because it's just going to make it available during the entire duration of the term. Used to be able to just come in and hit continuous and it would work, but then Blackboard screwed something up to where they put the dates on and that didn't work. It would not override those dates. So you have to literally come in here, set course duration, click on use term duration. Make sure you all keep note of that, especially if you're brand new teacher or still a little green around the gills. This is how you get your course open early. If you don't want it to open early, it will automatically open the dates that it's supposed to, according to class scheduling. But you better hope that class scheduling got the dates correct as well. It's always good practice to come in here and hit use term duration. I'm going to leave it to continuous and not mess with it. So there is 2 ways. So we did it with the control panel using properties, customization properties. We also did it with the 3 dots, and realize even in the list view, it's still the same thing. The only thing is you're only going to have 2 choices because you won't have the picture to edit. So we can still open and close the course right here, which is the same thing as in the card view. So there's two ways. What else can we do? There's 2 more out there. I'll give you a hint. One of the ways is actually in the course. And this is probably the easiest one. Anybody know? Yes.
The icons in the upper right-hand corner with the lock symbol.
Absolutely. Super, super easy. You click on the lock, you see it turn red and the hasp close. That course is unavailable to the students. You click on it again and the hasp is open. Then the course is available to the students. Easy peasy. I like that one. If I'm in the course and I'm doing my final grades and I submitted them in here and I'm done for the semester, I can just come up here and click the lock and it's done. So, or if I'm getting ready for the semester, got everything done, and I've got that setting for term duration already clicked on, I'll just click on the lock, open it for my students, and ready to go. So, all right, the last one, I don't know that anybody may notice, but I'll give you one shot. And I will say it's in a whole different area. This one is actually in Tools, right here in the course menu. I'm going to click on Tools. I'm going to click on something called Quickly Course Tools. And this is a software program that Blackboard participates with. So I can come over here and I have course availability. It brings you up a giant dashboard of all the different things that are available. So here is my 114 from this past semester. I can simply click on it and it is now unavailable. If I click on it again, it is now available for the students. So if you had everything all done and you wanted to come to one spot and just click on a bunch of things and make them open or closed, or if you want to look back further and see if there's something that maybe you should have closed a while ago, you can do so as well. It's kind of limited how many things pop up here, but you can also search it out and see what is available, unavailable. So, okay. We will talk more about Quickly Course Tools a little bit further in the in our talk today. Let me just check this real quick. Is Eldora in here?
Yes, it's me.
So I can ignore your email then? You're all good?
Um,
I'll check it later on a break.
yeah, check it later, please.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you. No, Mama.
All right. So that is the courses page. Let me go back. So we can make a course available through the dots, either in card view or list view, making a course private or allowing a course to open. We can do so within a course through the padlock icon or through customization, properties, and setting the availability to yes, but also remember about the use term duration. Again, we'll talk about that again a little later just to make sure, because it is one of your assignments.
Mhm.
And then the last one is through tools and Quickly Course Tools. Okay. All right. So that is everything on the courses page. Are there any questions about the courses page at all? Everybody's all good. So Lynn, if I want to have all my courses for next semester show up all on the top, how should I do that?
You should click the star.
Awesome. That's our favorites function. It's going to make your life a lot easier keeping them all front and center for you. All right, thank you very much. Okay, next thing that I want to talk about is the institution page. I said you landed on this when you first logged in, and a lot of people just move right off of it and go to their courses. But there is a lot of good information on this particular page that is very important. And I'm only going to highlight one particular area, which is the faculty support guide. And specifically, this link right here, faculty support website, tutorials and forms. Again, another one of your assignments. All your assignments are going to be screenshots. As soon as I'm done going over this, I'm going to backtrack and revisit our course and go through a few things. But all the assignments are going to be screenshots basically. So I'm going to be asking you to go to different areas, complete or create different things, and they're all going to be screenshots. So click on this, the faculty support website, tutorials and forums. This is an incredibly important area. Tons of information here. The number one thing that is on this particular page is all the different tutorials that are offered here. Anything that you want to know about Blackboard is on this page or can be linked to this page. So if you're just getting started and you want to know about certain things that are going on, you can come here. If you want to figure out how to put a syllabus up, or you want to know about the new syllabus templates or the syllabi addendums, all that stuff is here. If you want to know how to create a syllabus receipt assignment, I'm face-to-face on 95% of the stuff that I teach, but I don't use those printed cards anymore for syllabus receipt. Everything's in Blackboard. The least amount of paper I can use, the better. So all this stuff, if I want to learn about creating learning modules or adding different content within it, all this stuff is here. We as Blackboard liaisons, we do not teach publisher content. So if you're learning McGraw-Hill or Cengage or something like that, we don't really support that because a lot of us don't use it. But all that support information is right here. And places like McGraw-Hill or Cengage, they have their own liaison type people that you'll be able to contact and work with if you can't figure it out just from the support stuff that's out there. Higher end functions such as groups, dynamic assignments, tests, all that stuff. Grade Center, tons of good stuff up here. All kinds of tutorials. Now, one of the things that are going to be also in your assignments, but is important to know about, kind of why I have it as an assignment, is a personal master. Who in here can tell me about a personal master? What is a personal master? Is anybody in the class using one or have one?
I have.
And who's speaking again, please?
Joanne.
Okay, Joanne, what is a personal master?
It's a master that you can store your current, like say after the end of the semester, you can store your current shell into.
Okay. So Joanna's hit on one of the things that we can do for it. Let's start with what it is exactly. A personal master is a blank course shell, just a general course shell specific to a particular course number, not section. They don't get extra sections. You just get a course number. So if it was, my electrical fundamentals would have a associated with 113. If I can get everybody to mute their microphones, I'm hearing some feedback, if you could, please. Um, a personal master, again, is a blank shell. It can allow you to do different things. Number one, it never gets deleted. It's yours forever. So even though we're starting to evolve back into where they will delete our old courses, they started doing that again because the servers were getting way too bogged down from all the files that they were saving. So it's yours forever. It'll never be deleted. You can use it in a variety of different ways. Your students will never see it. So you can use it for course creation. You can use it to bring content into. So if I archive, which is kind of like saving your whole course, and I want to dump it into my personal master, I can do that. If I'm just playing around and I want to start learning how to use different functions and design different things, personal master is the perfect place for doing that. So you have something called a PMF, PMO. Can anybody in here tell me what PMF or PMO stands for? So a PMF stands for personal master face-to-face. A PMO stands for personal master online. So I'll give you an example. Electrical code class that I teach it both in a face-to-face version and an online version from time to time. I teach those two versions very different from each other. Face-to-face, my tests are all in person and different things that are going on with that. My online class is obviously very different because I never see them. So my personal masters, I have a PMF and a PMO, so I can build those two classes out differently. So that is how you can have two personal masters for the same class. I have, a personal master for face-to-face for 197 and online version of 197. Still the same number, just a different format. Is there anything difference physically between a PMF and a PMO? Absolutely not. It's just a different name, so you can have two different versions of the same thing. There's also DMF and DMO. A DMF is a department master face-to-face, and a DMO is department master online. Now, department masters are created by typically a single person within the department to develop out a course to keep things universal or to enforce reliability in the data that's going across different courses. For example, Gino Reyes from Criminal Justice came to me a couple years ago looking for all the courses within the criminal justice recruit training program. They had 10 courses and they wanted to make sure all the instructors had the same basics to start with. So we sat down and requested personal masters for all their 10 courses, and he started developing different content within those courses as a base for instructors to build off of. In my area, we have a math for HVAC class. It's just a real simple, up to about 5th grade math level that we teach our own technicians. But it's a course that tends to get passed around to whoever needs load that semester. And it was problematic in the beginning because people kind of just taught what they wanted to teach instead of following the COS, the course outcome summary, and sticking to what is supposed to be done. So we created a department master. That way that can be archived and imported into a particular instructor's live class, and they get a good basic foundation. Obviously, they can make their own modifications to it, but all the base core curriculum is in there, lessons, support stuff. So they have good uniformity in instruction across that particular class. So if it was taught by me one semester and then taught by somebody else another semester, it should be relatively the same course. At least all the content better be the same. So personal masters can be used for that. So where do we get one? So over here on the left-hand side, request personal master. I can click on that. That is going to bring me to this particular screen. You literally just fill out the information, course number, make sure you give it its designation. So if it is an economics class, Econ-195, don't worry about a section. They don't care. You're not going to get multiple PMFs for the same course. You're only going to get one. However, I have heard, and here, I'll show you, you can actually have 4 different PMFs for the same course. And here's why. You can do spring. That will give you the full 16-week format. Summer, which I think is 6 weeks. Wind term, I don't know what they get, 3-4 weeks, whatever it is. And then an 8-week accelerated. So you could have 4 different PMFs for the same course. I just helped an instructor who teaches physical education, and he's teaching this summer, teaching a 16, a 12, and an 8-week version of the same course. So it was in his best interest to have the 3 different formats built out, and that way he could just archive it and dump it into his live course as he needed it. You have to mention whether it's brand new or not. That's going to flag it for different things going on. And I find this last question kind of funny because I don't know too many people that are getting paid to develop courses. But anyway, this is going to be one of your assignments as well. So I will talk about that in just a minute. So that is personal master. Department master is right below it. Same type of form, but you are also going to mention who you would like to be in that particular course. Be mindful of who you let into a particular course, because once you let them in, they have the ability to make changes as well. So if you are developing a department master, I would highly recommend you keep it to a very, very select few, if not yourself alone. Then make a archive copy of it before you let anybody else in. That way you have the integrity of all your work you've done before somebody has the ability to change it. So we're going to talk about archiving and importing next week. Very, very important process. So, all right, enrolling supplementary user. Why would we need to do something like this? Anybody? David, why would I want somebody else in my course?
Would that be for like a student or?
No students here. Why would I want an instructor or somebody else in my course?
Constructive criticism, helping you create the course.
Okay. So maybe you're brand new and you get a senior faculty member that wants to come in and help you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a sign of a nice division.
Mhm.
Somebody else raised their hand?
I did.
This is again?
Joanne,
Okay, Joanne. What would you
you,
use it for?
you might have a question for like someone that is, or you're like a peer support person.
Okay. So maybe you're enrolled in a peer support and you want them to come in and take a look at your course and give you pointers. Absolutely. Somebody else raise their hand?
I did. I'm Jennifer. I've always
Okay.
added my co-instructors to my course shell so they can see all the students' grades, etc., the assignments.
Oh, do you guys have like stacked where you have clinicals and different things like that, or?
Well, no, I teach in English, and sometimes there's 2 or 3 instructors. There might be a teaching assistant, and there might be a
Okay.
co-instructor that's doing an extra class to help the students with their skills. So we
Okay.
all have to be on the same page. So I've always added those folks to my Blackboard so they can see everything that's going on.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody else? So I had a blast this past semester. I made some really, really good friends. I've known them for a few years now, but I had a deaf student in my class, and I got the joy of getting him back next semester as well. But who came along with my deaf student?
The interpreters, I've had that situation as well.
Absolutely. So I've had the joy of having Jackie and Jody in my class for a couple of years now. Absolutely love them. Even had an intern interpreter, and I added them all to my class. But because what's unique about them, and I absolutely stand in amazement for them, is yes, they interpret sign language for the student, but what people don't typically see is they are basically tutors as well. And they are basically learning all your content along with it so they can make sure that they sign it and relate it properly to the student. And that's incredibly difficult in my area because of all the technical terms. So they're basically making up new signs and everything for some of the technical stuff. But regardless, I've given them access to Blackboard so they can see all the materials and view anything that I have up there. So definitely um, interpreters. I've also had tutors from the Academic Support Center wanting to come in and see some of the materials in my class. I'm 100% for that as well. The number one thing that got mentioned by everybody is new faculty. Y'all help the new people coming in. Everybody knows you get thrown into the fire here in MATC. My first semester, I walked in 2 weeks into the semester at 140% load and was given keys and a syllabus that didn't even have a course outcome or nothing, and said, here, have fun. So support the new people coming in. And this is one way you can do that. Let them know about enrolling supplementary users, have them drop you into their courses and help them. Or if you're brand new yourself, reach out to somebody, get them to help you out. Don't be afraid to ask if somebody has any course materials that they're willing to share with you. I'm pretty open to that in my particular area, as long as I see that people are trying and caring. So absolutely, enrolling supplementary users is an important thing. But let's take a look at it though. So the form, the one thing that I want to point out, everything is pretty straightforward. If you don't know the person that you're adding ID number, you can simply come in here and type all zeros. So 2, 4, is it 2, 4, 6, 7 zeros. Just type 7 zeros in and they'll know. However, this is what I want to call your attention to. The two that you're really only going to be dealing with is instructor level access or student level access. If you're dealing with a tutor or an interpreter, you have to select student level access. And this is only going to allow them to see the content in your class. They're not going to be able to see the grade center, which all these will do. The teaching assistant access, that'll give them access to the grade center, but won't let them do certain things like maneuvering content, deleting things. If you give somebody full instructor level access, they can do everything. So if you just want somebody peeking or looking at your course and not doing anything, it's student level access. So interpreters, tutors. This is very important for FERPA as well. You cannot allow people like that to come in and see the Grade Center data, which is sensitive. So be very aware of that. And the online department is going to question all this stuff carefully anyway because of those rules. So it has to be justified. So after you have filled in this role, you have to put why this user should be enrolled. So in my example, the interpreters, I simply typed in there sign language interpreters for deaf student. Very straight and simple. So, and then again, student level access. But if you're enrolling a fellow faculty member from your department, give them the full instructor access because maybe they want to do a few things for you. You got your grade center screwed up and you got me in there and I go in and work with you and show you how to change things. It's a little easier to do it that way. So, all right. Any questions about enrolling a supplementary user, which is right here? All good? Okay, so you've got the personal masters, you've got the enroll supplementary users, you have all the tutorials, and there's going to be some oddball stuff that's on here. So if you're not familiar with EAB Navigate beyond this course, but there's assistance there. All of us faculty liaisons, our schedules are up here. We used to be in person, but now with COVID, we don't really list any contact hours. We're pretty flexible. We'll meet with you in between our classes and where we can. Just please realize that every one of us, there's 4 of us. We're all teachers too, so we've got instructor schedules to go as well. So you got Danica Olson, she's accounting, Cindy, she is dental, myself HVAC, and Aaron is accounting. They used to be picked by campus, but again, that's old hat these days. So, somebody like me though at South Campus, if you really needed to meet with somebody in person, I teach face to face all the time, so I'd be pretty easy. But I got a feeling that the other, well, Cindy does as well. I got a feeling the other instructors would be more than happy to meet with you in person if you really needed it as well. So, one thing to keep in mind with us liaisons though, even though you saw me plugged into a bunch of different classes, other people's stuff, I do not have access to everybody's stuff. So when you ask in a liaison, hey, what's wrong with my grade center? They can't simply peek in your course and take a look. If it gets complicated, we may ask you to have added to your course to try to help you figure things out. But otherwise, we're meeting in person to take a look, or we're meeting virtually to take a look to see what's going on. This is the full-blown Blackboard support guide, which is Blackboard driven. A lot of this stuff are things that Megan Hamilton has created. She is our wonderful person behind the scenes that is a Blackboard goddess, and she is absolutely awesome at her job. And when I have a question, I go to Megan. So, but please come to us first. We're your point of reference. We're getting paid for it, so please use us. Yuja, that's the video that I made. I'm still a little new at it. It's very, very handy. I would strongly suggest that you start acclimating yourself to it. I'll give you a little insider information. I just found this out last week as well. So the software program that I'm talking to you right now is called Blackboard Collaborate. We're going to learn a little bit about it in this course. we just found out it got sold by Blackboard. So we do not know if it's staying or going. That's going to cause a bunch of issues as well. But we're going to find out and see what they do and go from there. So there may be more changes on the horizon. But you just seems like it's not going away. We got burnt pretty bad, the one before this called Nomia. We signed up for it, and a month later they sold the freaking company. So we were like, oh my goodness. So we all learned a bunch of stuff for nothing. It was bought and buried. It doesn't exist. It was taken out of circulation for large scale practices like schools and organizations, and it doesn't exist in that format anymore. But Yuja, it's pretty self-intuitive. You're able to screen capture, make videos. I edited my video. You can embed tests and quizzes in the videos. Students can make notes in the videos. It's really interesting. Obviously, there's a lot to learn there, but if you just want to jump in and do some simple videos, just going through some of the different, it's actually down, where'd it go? That's the huge training course schedule. Where is, let me find it. Where's the content? Here it is. So here is the Yuja video platform. So the tutorials that are in there, Megan made a centralized one-page document with all the different links right in here. So a really cool tool to make videos, edit videos, putting closed captions on, all that stuff. Blackboard Collaborate does not do closed captions. Yuja did. I just made my little intro so fast that I did not put captions on there, but you can, and you should. Me of all people, I'm very hard of hearing, wear hearing aids, so I actually rely on closed captions a lot. And by law, federal law, you're supposed to have closed captioning. So the videos that I put up for you, I'm actually going to have to take them out of Blackboard, upload them to YouTube, have YouTube do the captioning, and then I will add those videos to our course a little bit later. It takes time to get all this stuff done, but I will definitely follow the rules. The first video recordings you'll see in our course will be just the Collaborate videos that do not have closed captioning, but as soon as the YouTube videos are ready, I will be adding those that are fully closed captioned to abide by federal law. So, and you don't have a choice in your course. You have to do that. So, all right. So that is the institution page, and a ton of information there. Strongly suggest you know and look over things. Any questions about the institution page and the faculty support website? Everybody's all good. So if I ask a question in 10 minutes, you're going to know exactly what to tell me, right? Okay. The rest of the stuff is not super useful in my particular opinion. And again, that's just an opinion. Real quickly about your own profile page. Right here, your name. If you click on that, you can add a picture by clicking on the pencil icon. I've got a face for radio, so I didn't bother putting a picture up here. The one thing I will point out in the lower right-hand corner, if you're anything like me and absolutely hate getting all the notifications of every stinking little thing that happens, you're going to want to shut as many of those off as you can. And this is where you would do that. These global notification settings. So you can click on each one, the stream notifications. And all these block boxes may be clicked. You can unclick them all and then hit save. And then you can start cycling through those 3 choices you saw here are these 3 choices here. This is the minimum you can do is email me only once a day, but if you take everything off and save it, then you don't get anything. And then the push notifications, that has to do with the Blackboard app. You can take all that stuff off and save it as well. So if you're sick of seeing a ton of updated emails or something like that, come to your profile page, which is here, and then take all your notifications off through each individual area. Okay. The activity stream is pretty useless. It just tells you all the different things you've done in Blackboard. I know what the heck I did, so I don't need somebody to tell me what I did. Calendar organizations are different things that you can develop. You can create an organization outside the scope of this class, but it's basically a Blackboard shell that you can create. Well, actually, MATC has to create. Like when we first shifted to COVID, Megan created an emergency training area for the liaisons to put all their stuff and help train the college. But just be concerned with institution page, profile page if you want to take off all those notifications, courses, obviously probably the one, and you should be familiar with tools. We talked about quickly course tools and course availability, but here in a little while we're also going to talk about some other stuff. All right, any questions so far on the stuff that we've covered? All right, so if I ask Eldora, if I wanted to,
Yes.
if I wanted to add Lisa to my course to help me build out my course, because she's been here a lot longer than I have, how could I do that?
I think we need to go like to the tutorial page so we can add her.
Where's that? I just started working here. I'm not sure where all this stuff is.
To the faculty self-service.
No, that's where you do attendance and different things. I was just checking to see who was on my roster in this class.
We go to the institution page.
Institution page, okay.
And then we scroll down and then we go to the faculty.
Okay.
Faculty support website.
And then?
To the enroll part. Enroll supplementary user.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now you all know what kind of instructor I am. I like calling on people. Get bored otherwise. Brittany, if I wanted to start building out a brand new course that came through curriculum, let's just say it got past curriculum, so it's definitely going to be a course, but it's not going to start until next semester. What's a place that I could build that in and start getting all my stuff together?
I would say a request a personal master.
Absolutely. And that actually happened to me when I built a wiring diagram class. I got it past curriculum and I was getting ready to teach it the next semester, but I didn't have a place to build it. So I requested the personal master, built it all out. And once the course was actually published in Blackboard, I simply archived my personal master and dumped it in my live class and was ready to go. So awesome. Okay, So that is the institutional page and all that good stuff. So now let's take a quick look at our course before we go too far, before we jump into the course menu. So here's our actual course, our live course, our summer 2023 ZERD 197-400. What I want to take a peek at, obviously you've seen the syllabus. Syllabus is here. There is a really hard syllabus receipt quiz. It's like 500 questions long. It's really difficult, all 2 questions of them. So hopefully you can get that done. Yes, I was being a little facetious there. Weekly lessons, pretty straightforward. I do have some pre-class activities. I'm going to want you to get them done by the end of this week. I have to give Erin Dishler credit for this. She turned me on to this particular method of introductions, class slideshow introductions. And for the 2 that are not registered, I will share this link with you so you can join in. But I always thought that this was kind of cool, a cool way to introduce yourself into a course. So you get to create your own slide and put different things up there about yourself. And I just really enjoyed it. So even do it in my own courses now. Outside of that, so get the syllabus receipt done, get your introduction done. Within the week 1, we're going to go take a look at each one, but I want to make sure you understand in each one of these modules, there's going to be lessons. And each one of those lessons, you're going to create a Word document or a PDF, and you're going to drop screenshots of different things that you've done or found into those. And at the end of the day, we'll talk about each one of these things, and I'll quickly show you exactly where they were. But if you're not familiar with how to do a screenshot, you can come to help and support. There's different ways to do a screenshot. This is my favorite, the snipping tool, and I actually have it pinned down here on my toolbar. And what it does is allows you to snip out a very specific area in your screen to utilize. So I would strongly suggest you look into that snipping tool, and you can, it's literally on your computer, so you just simply have to find it. Once I found it, I pinned it to my toolbar, and I use it all the time for helping people, responding to students, all kinds of things. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, so, and then also after today's done, these under help and support, recorded live sessions, the videos from today will be placed into this folder. I will build these out. They will be links that go directly to the videos. And again, you'll first see the Blackboard Collaborate videos, and then a little bit later, after YouTube is finished captioning them, I will put the links to the YouTube videos in here as well. Be the same thing, it'll just have closed captioning on it. So if you don't need the closed captioning, the first ones that I put up there will simply be the same thing minus the captions. The first one will go up right away. The second one, it takes Blackboard a little time to create the file, and then I will put it up. I have also enabled download ability, so you could, if you wanted to, download the video. They're giant size files, so only download it if you want it, but that ability will be there as well. So if you're going up north to the woods and you got no internet and you want to still be able to review and look at stuff, I know you're that dedicated to education, so when you're out on the boat tomorrow and you want to watch my video, you know, obviously probably 50% of the class will be doing that, so awesome. So, all right, so discussion board, we'll talk about that next week when we deal with the research topic. Not a big deal, not a ton of work. So, okay, I will go over all the assignments at the end of today's lesson. But let's get back into our course. And the next thing we're going to look at is the course menu. So I'm going to start using my test course. This is test course 2. I need test course 3. Okay, so I've deleted a ton of stuff in here just to keep it clean, and I use this as a way to teach the course and demonstrate different things. So now what we're going to talk about now is the course menu. So when we talk about the course menu, you got to think about it from a couple different standpoints. And number one standpoint you should be thinking about is student ease of navigation. So when they are in here, it should be easy for them to navigate. So in this particular class, this was a live class last semester. You're going to see they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buttons. The normal range is roughly 10 to 12 buttons that you're going to want in a course menu. You go beyond that and it's getting out of hand. The ease of navigation is no longer there. And when we first shifted to online from the pandemic, and there were 12 of us that reviewed 1,800 courses, and I never ever want to do that ever again in my life. We found an example of an instructor that had 112 buttons. Now, I could not imagine in a million years taking a course like that, wondering which one of the 112 buttons I had to push to figure out what I had to accomplish in that class. Please do not do that. If you have 20 buttons, it's way too much. 10 to 12 is more than enough to get you to where you are going to be able to disseminate and organize different things. This is a lab lecture class, and I've divided it into lecture learning modules and laboratory learning modules. So I have 2 main areas that the students are functioning within, support things on the perimeters here. But even within there, you're going into the different, and I've got some learning to do too, but going into it and adding different content inside of them. Again, this is a face-to-face class, but I still have stuff in there that you can use. So button list, 10 to 12, maximum. Ease of navigation. Keep their mindset at the forefront of your thinking. Help them organize it easily. So an old school name for these are called buttons, because back in the day they had outlines around them. They looked like buttons. But because we shifted to a mobile device friendly format, as many graphics as they could were taken out to make it more friendly to phones and tablets and different things like that. Hopefully that will change in the future, because it was kind of nice having outlines. We had a color palette that we could do different themes with our course shells. It was really nice, but I still call them buttons. So you clicking on them. I think they're called links now, whatever. I'm old school. I like calling them buttons. These buttons in here are going to link to different things in your course. They're either going to link to content or tools or live links, different things like that. So one thing I like to show everybody right off the back is inevitably at some point you're going to do that. It's like, oh crap, where'd all my buttons go? And you're wondering where they went. Don't panic. This little arrow that's sticking out, and it used to go away. It used to ghost on you, and that made it real fun. But at least it stays there this now, and people realize where it's at, and it'll bring it back. It is also kind of nice to know where that is, because if I get into grading a dynamic assignment to be able to see the comments and everything, I'll collapse this menu, I'll collapse the side menu, and I'll have the whole screen grading to myself. It makes it a little easier. So do know how to collapse and uncollapse your side screens, and it would be the same thing for the right side. It would be a arrow to bump it in. So this whole area below your buttons, this is the course menu up here. You'll see a hard black line there. Above the hard black line is your actual course menu. Below that is your control panel. So all this stuff in the control panel is going to give you different abilities, like accessing your grade center. Course tools is going to be another one that you use often. Packages, utilities, and customization. Those are the ones that you use most often. There is a function within Blackboard that allows you to see the course exactly how the students see it. And that's kind of why I got a little confused on the video kerfluffle that I had going on over the past 2 days. Is before I released this video, this huge video that I put out, I don't know where it went. Anyway, the UGO video that I put out, I went into student preview mode and made sure that I could see it, but I started doubting myself as a couple people said they couldn't see it. So you should be able to come into student preview mode and see exactly what the students see. Now, don't get worried. I just flipped through it real fast. I'm going to come back to that a little bit later. But before that was there, we had something called edit mode. And it was a real rough estimation of what a student would see. So I can put edit mode off, and then I cannot make any changes or mess with anything in the class. Edit mode has to be on to be able to do anything in the class. Okay? Edit mode, I don't even know why they have it anymore. There really is no need or no function that we can come up with that you need it for. Student preview mode is the #1 tool that you need to know how to use, and we're definitely going to cover that today. But let's get through the course menu first. The other thing that helps with this ease of student use and navigation is organization. So in this one, there's some groupings. I've used dividers to group different things. So announcements and grades grouped together. Students start here, faculty, contact, kind of communications are all towards the top. Core functions, the online meeting, the syllabus, the weekly lessons, discussion boards are in one grouping. And then support type stuff are down here in another grouping. Okay, so keep that in mind as well as you're going through this stuff. All right. Yes, go ahead.
At some point, will you show us how to put those dividers in?
Yep. Awesome segue. Guess where we're going?
Thank you.
We're going to start messing with adding different things to the course menu.
Great.
So, #1 thing I want to show you, I call this the plus button. See this little circle with the plus in it? Remember the plus button, because that has all the different things that you can add to your course menu. So we have content area, module page, tool link, web link, course link, subheader, and there's divider. So let's take a look at each one. The content area is basically, I like to think about it as a playground. So let's just call this one syllabus. And then I'm going to make it available, which is right below it. So I've named it, made it available, and submit it. So it's now over here. And what a content area is, and why I call it a playground, is you can basically do anything and everything that you want in this area. If I want to create content, if I want to create a video, if I want to create a web link, a YouTube video, a YouTube video, whatever I want to put in here, an assignment, a test, a survey, whatever, I can put it all in here. I can even add tools to this area if I really wanted to. So this is basically a playground to do whatever you want. Now, let's do a simple add. Actually, no, we're going to do that later. Adding content. We're going to leave this one here because I am going to show you how to add a syllabus to your course, but we'll come back to that. One thing I do want to do is I just did something to show you these two symbols. What are these two symbols? Somebody raise their hand. What are these two symbols to the right of syllabus, and what do they mean? How about the square with the diagonal line through it? What does that mean? Anybody?
Hidden course?
No, this is specific just to the syllabus.
Hiding the syllabus?
It's hidden from the students, absolutely. So I hovered over it and said, this link is hidden from the students. How about the symbol directly to the right of it?
Private syllabus?
Nope, this means that there's nothing there. Now, what's unique about Blackboard is typically when there's nothing there, even if this was unhidden, I'm going to go into student preview mode. Notice what we don't see. We don't see a syllabus, right? Because there's nothing in it. So Blackboard is saying, well, you didn't put anything in it. Why should we show it to the students? So when you see a little square that's empty next to it, it simply means that there is nothing in there. You got to do something. Put something in there. Okay, so that is a content area. Module page. A module page, and we're going to play with that content area big time when we start adding content. We're just going to go through all the functions of the buttons for right now. Module page is much like a home page, and this was an older type item that you got in your courses. I really don't see any use for it now, and this is why. A home page allows you to add modules. So right here on add modules, these are the only things that you're allowed to put in it. So I can add a calculator, a dictionary. And people that are dealing with McGraw-Hill, they've got their own little page that has all that stuff anyway. So I don't have a big use of this. Put a thesaurus in there. What's new? Click OK. And that's all it is. It just adds these little modules, and I can move them around. I can put them in different places, but I think it's absolutely useless. But my opinion, not everybody's opinion. So, but that is what a module page is. I typically attribute it to a home page. A tool link. Now, a typical tool link would be a discussion board. That's one example. Key thing about this one, you got to be real careful about adding a tool link, because the default type that's seen here, I wish they would take it off of here. This is an external link. So if you screw up and this button becomes your landing page, as soon as you click on the course, it goes right to the external web page, and you've essentially broke Blackboard, and you need a Megan to be able to reset it in the background to where you can get to your course, because you won't be able to even get to your course menu to fix it. So make sure after you type your name of your tool link in, to click the down arrow and find the tool that's appropriate for that one. Because we want a discussion board, we're going to select discussion board. I'm going to make it available to the users and submit. A very, very common mistake that new people make with the discussion board is they'll create a content area, name it discussion board. That is not a discussion board. It has to be a tool link. Well, we're going to go through discussion board completely, but for now, this is the discussion board tool. It is a tool link. And when you notice with the tool links, there are a ton of different tools that are in Blackboard for you to choose from. Tons of different things. All right. Everything from announcements to glossaries to all kinds of stuff. Glossary is kind of an interesting tool. I had one person I helped at one point. She taught a Holocaust survivor course, and she had a fascinating glossary that associated that whole section in history, and she did a bang up job on creating a beautiful glossary, and it was a really interesting tool. But web link. Now you can have I'm just copying that website, a button linked directly to a website. You type in the name of the website, you do what I just did. I went and clicked on the website and then copied the URL. That way it could just paste it right here, make it available to the users, and submit. So now when you click on this, it opens. But notice what just happened. Our course went away, didn't it? And this is going to confuse students. And I hate Blackboard for this, that they don't give you an option sooner, which I'm about to show you. So if a student thinks that they're done with the website, they click the X up here and they just close their course. They don't know to either click the back button or click on our course to go back in it. So do something for them. After you've created your web link, click the down arrow and then select Set Link to open in a new window. It frustrates me that Blackboard doesn't give us that option at the point where we're creating it, and there's nothing that I can do about it, but please do this for your students to minimize confusion and frustration. So once I do that, notice we have a new website. We still have our course on a different tab. So when the student closes that website after they're done, they didn't close out your course, their course. Okay. And that was a simple link to set. Now it says current window, but if you were already in the current window, it would say new window. Okay. Now, an easy way for an instructor to get in trouble and have 100 buttons is to have a whole bunch of web links in your course menu. The only reason you should have a web link in your course menu is if it's something very important. So say you're using McGraw-Hill and you want that McGraw-Hill website point to be here. Fire program, they use a different LMS. Maybe they want that site, the button, to be right here where the students go do their work in that particular area. Electricians do the same thing. They have a different website they do their stuff in. I took a etymology course once, the history and origin of words. So the instructor had an online etymology dictionary website. So obviously that was one that we hit all the time. It made sense to have that be a main button. But otherwise, if you have a whole bunch of websites that you want students going to, either it's appropriate to build them out with the live lessons, or it's appropriate to have a button in your course menu, a content area that is labeled course websites or support websites, whatever you need it to be. Have it a place where multiple are in there. But the best way to do it, and most appropriate way to do it, is to have that web content at the point of use. So if it's embedded in your lessons and it's right in that same area, that makes a lot of sense to have it there. Course link, little bit limited capabilities of this, but basically what a course link is a location in your course that it would link to. So in your live course, you'll see contact the instructor. And when you click on that, it goes right to email for me. So you just got to fill it in. Do me a favor, if you email me through this, it's kind of a frustrating thing. Put your name in here because it often comes across as just like a user or an obscure look, and I can't always tell who it is from. So make sure you tell me who you are when you're typing me an email. But how this is done is through a course link. So I go to browse, and actually I have to create something first. So I have to create a tool link because I have to link to it. And I'm not going to make it available to users, so the student doesn't see this. So now when I create a course link and I go to browse, here's my email tool that I just put in the menu. And I'm going to take just the instructor users. And then I'll change the name of it, email your instructor. And I'm going to make this available. So there should be zero reason you have to do this as long as you don't delete the contact the instructor link in your default course when you get it. But if you do, this is how it's done behind the scenes. So now when you see email your instructor, boom, goes right to it. Okay, but that's an example of a course link, just links to somewhere in the course. Now, when you send out an announcement, you could put a course link in here, but they are going to be limited because if you send it to them in an email as well, which I always do, they would have to be in Blackboard to be able to see that link for it to function. So realize course links only work when people are in Blackboard. All right, last two, subheader, absolutely useless. Why do I say that? Why are you so harsh, Donnie? I'll tell you why. See MATC right here? So let me do a subheader, MATC, submit, and put them right next to each other. They don't look very different, do they? This one's slightly bolder than this one. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes look like students want to come over here and click on it, and it does nothing. Before, you could put colors in here, you could make it a block style. It looked awesome, and it really separated your areas. But this just looks confusing to me. And if you've got something that's similar right next to it, it doesn't look that different. I do not use subheaders, but that's what a subheader is. I use dividers. If I click on a divider, it's simply a line. Now you saw me move this over. How did I do that? Who was watching carefully? Nobody was watching? All right, so look to the left. As I put my finger pointer over here, it changes to a 4-point arrow, correct? So I can hold down the left mouse button, drag it to a point where I want it, and I release the mouse button. It's drag and drop. So I can move anything I want all over the course menu and it organizes everything that I want. Easy peasy. There is another one that you can do here, the up down arrows, and then you highlight it, and then you can start moving it down. This is archaic. I don't even know why they have it. It's so much easier just to drag and drop and move things around and you're done. So, all right, so that's drag and drop. Let's see if we hit everything. Subheader. Oh, I already said that I hate subheaders. How do I delete this? Who can tell me how to delete this? And we're going to step on my golden rule here. Do I still have students in the class?
I was
Everybody
just
still
going to
with me?
raise my hand and ask how you delete that. I assume, do you maybe use that arrow, the down arrow on the right side there?
Let's see.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. There's the delete. So this is where I stepped into my golden rule. There's a golden rule with Blackboard. 99.999% of the time, a down arrow is going to get you to what you want. Now it has one sub-level of that. It's either going to get you something immediately that you want, like in here, our reward was instant. We have our delete. Or, let me find one. Or it's going to be something further when I'll have to show it when I'm creating content. If you don't see something that you want in here, there may be a choice for edit instead. So the golden rule is the down arrow. It's either immediately going to get you what you want, or it's going to bring you to the choice of edit that will get you to the point where you find something you want. Yes.
Going back to the email, the link there, email your instructor, that will go to your Blackboard email. Will it additionally go into your email, your MATC email?
There is no such thing as Blackboard email.
Yeah,
There is only your MATC email.
and we kind of
Now,
discourage our students to use this particular email on Blackboard and to go ahead and do it through the MATC, because things just kind of hang out in this email, I feel like.
okay, so you just stumbled into something that got me not last semester, but semester before. So Blackboard, they have some doozies from time to time, and this was a doozy. A lot of our students, and I even tell my students to get the Blackboard app on their phone. Now, it is amazingly easy for them to come in the Blackboard app, click on email your instructor, and it goes to the email. The problem is Blackboard put up something called contact your instructor, and it linked to a tool called course messages. Getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it's okay. Course messages is a tool that is, in my opinion, at least for my stuff, useless. And the reason I say that is I got a crappy memory and I can never remember to check on certain things, do certain things. And course messages is kind of like instant messaging, but it's relegated to Blackboard. It does not function outside of Blackboard. You do not get alerts unless you have it, the push notifications on your Blackboard app set up properly, which I don't. I don't want to have things going off on my phone 24/7. So my students, excuse me, my students were emailing me. I had air quotes up there, and they're like, "Well, why didn't you respond to me?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I emailed you, and I even pulled my email up in front of them. I was like, "No, you didn't email me." It's like, "Oh yes, I did." Finally, put two and two together, installed course messages in my course, and quickly looked at it, and there were a bunch of students. Like, oh crap! So the Blackboard had put this contact the instructor like right at the top of everything, and it made it look like it was the email tool. So that was probably what was happening in your area, and they caught on to it and said, no, use your Gmail, because it was confusing students. I had Megan put in a request to Blackboard and a complaint that said, hey, this is super confusing to our students, and this is a big mess up. So I don't know if they did anything about it. But yeah, that was in my opinion, a big issue, because that really confused and messed up communication in my course and probably a bunch of courses. So there's a lot of instructors don't use course messages in their course. So awesome topic you brought up. So
Would you discourage using that link, email your instructor, or will that email your instructor indeed go to the MATC Gmail?
if they're actually using this and not course messages, and where it gets a little convoluted would be the student app. And I'll try to look at mine on a break to see if they made any changes. I don't know what I have where I'm a student, but I'll try to look at my own phone and see if it looks intuitive or if it's still that goofy setup. But if they're using email instructor, absolutely it goes to your Gmail, your MATC Gmail. So
Great, thank you.
right. So, and I'm gonna, when we talk Grade Center next week, I am actually gonna show you how to email students right out of the Grade Center. So I actually used it this morning for one of the people in this class. I gotta see if, seeing as I can't see anybody, did Megan Johnson come into class? Megan Johnson, are you here? No Megan Johnson? Okay. Well, that was the person I emailed and apparently didn't work. Okay. All right, so that's how you would delete a button. But what if I just want to hide a button? Here's my syllabus. I don't have anything in it yet. I want to build some stuff out, and then I want to show it to the students after I'm all done building it. How would I do that? Yes.
The down arrow?
Yes, indeed. And which one do I want to take?
Hide link.
And there's our little symbol, right? Square with the diagonal line. So absolutely. All right, so that is all the stuff about the buttons in the course. Any questions about the course menu and anything going on with it? Otherwise, I got lots of questions for y'all. Might as well get the questions out before I come with my questions. All right, Lynn, you're with us.
I'm here. I'm the one that's been asking you all the questions.
Yeah, that's what I got to give you a couple back. If I want to create a button that will hold content such as a syllabus, a PowerPoint, a Word document, whatever, what would I do?
On the left-hand side of your screen, go to the plus
Okay.
right there, and a course link,
Course link?
perhaps. Okay, you want to? Can you repeat your question? You want to add a
I
syllabus?
want to put in a syllabus or a PowerPoint or a PDF file, Word document, any
Yeah.
type of content.
I think this is the right place. You would add it. I'm just looking here. Nope, not under email. That's not the right place. A web link. or
Web
tool.
link? What website is my PowerPoint going to be on?
No, that's not right either. That's not right. A course link. Try a course link. Can you
We
click
tried
on it?
that one already.
We did. Okay. It's not a tool necessarily.
What?
Is it?
What? Where could I put some content?
Content area.
Ah, that would make sense. Okay.
Content area.
Okay.
So this,
Thank
you can just name it whatever you want. And remember,
To
this is the playground where you can add just whatever you want.
okay.
Doesn't matter. Okay? All right. Let's go with Megan Laurent. Megan, if I wanted to add, there's all kinds of different tools in Blackboard, like the one that I talked about, that awesome glossary. How could I add a glossary, which is a type of a tool, to my course menu?
You would go to the tool link, where you go to the content area, the little
Where's
X or the little plus with the circle.
that at?
Do you want it in the syllabus? You should go back to where it says test course.
No, I want a button that says glossary. So how do I add that button?
Well, you should get out of the syllabus.
Okay, where
Right.
should I go?
Click on the test course 3 at the top. No, at the top, right, left. Keep going up.
Here?
Yep, right there. Yep. Okay.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Megan, which leg is getting longer right now?
What about the purple X or the home? The
Yeah.
house next to it.
Oh, there went our course.
Oh, because
Nobody
you're
saw
not
what
in
I
edit
did.
mode.
Ah,
There you go. Okay. I didn't
that
even
joke
see you do
never
that.
gets old. That joke never gets old. All right, let's get you off the hot seat, Megan. All right, now if I want to add a tool link, how would I do that?
The plus with the circle.
There we go.
Yep. And then tool link.
Okay, and how would I find that glossary? Obviously, I type it in, but
Yep. We'll name it first and then hit on the type and then find glossary.
there you go. And then obviously make it available if you want.
Yep.
And good to go. Thank you for putting up with that. Oh. All right. Let's go with Brittany. Brittany, I don't like email your instructor at the bottom. I want to put it right below my grades. How would I do that?
You can just drag it.
Doesn't work.
Try using those little arrows to the left then.
There we go. Awesome. Remember, you got to be on that left side. If I sit in the middle, it's not going to do nothing. I got to be to where it turns in the 4-point arrow. Okay, a couple more things that I want to show you in this particular area. When you come into this course, so if I close it and I click on this course, it lands on announcements. Now, you may have a content area called Students Start Here. And make it an available to users. And you may build that out, and actually we got to put something in it. Bear with me for just a second. There has to be something in here for it to do what I'm about to do. So let's say you had this Student Start Here page built out nicely, and you want the course to land on that particular page. We can change the course entry point. So to do that, we can go to customization. We can go to teaching style. scroll down, and right here I have course entry point. Clicking on this, I can click on student start here. Now, if I would have just had that student start here with nothing in it, it would not populate this list. If we can mute the microphones, please. If we didn't have that, it would not populate here if there was nothing in it. So that's why I quick just threw some gibberish in there. So now I can click on that, submit it. I come out of the course and I come into the course, it's going to land on that student start here page. Okay. So again, I went to customization, teaching style, down to select course entry point, and put your stuff in here. Pick which one you want. A few other things in here. There's that banner that I was talking about. You can put an image in here. But not much you can do to this. So, okay. And if you happen to delete the start here, your course entry, it's going to default to what was there before. So now when I come to the course, it lands on the announcements again. Announcements is the default. So, all right. All right. The other thing that I wanted to go over real quick was we'll do this one thing and then we'll take a break. So we are going to create a profile, an instructor profile. So in my live course, you'll see the faculty information. My stuff's all up there. We're going to create one from scratch in here in case you ever deleted yours and have to create one. What you need to know is that it is a tool link. So I'm going to click on tool link. Call it faculty information. Now the type of tool this is called contacts. So if you ever want to do your faculty information, you accidentally deleted it, the tool is contacts. Make it available to the users and submit. I might have some stuff in here because I play around so much. Let me get rid of it. So if you're brand new, you'll come in and you'll see nothing. If you've been doing this for a while, you might have some stuff that keeps popping up. Not a big deal. You do not want to create a folder. You want to create a contact because it gives you all the stuff to fill in. So I'm going to knight myself, sir. You're just typing stuff in. Putting your stuff in. Put your office location, office hours, anything you want to put in here, any notes. It's a bummer that it defaults to no, so make sure you catch this. Make sure you say yes to the profile available. If you want to put an image in there, go for it. You want a personal link. So if your program area has a website, criminal justice, they got the CJSO. I know Doug Brown likes to put his CJSO student organization in his profile. Web design, graphic, different things like that where they might have their own websites. It makes sense to put stuff in there. If you got an area that does have a student organization, maybe promote that where you can. So, but otherwise, go ahead and submit it, and then your stuff will show up there. Pretty straightforward. You are mandated by the college to have your contact information up here, minimum email address and a phone number, but it makes sense to put your office location and your office hours for the student. That is mandatory for people in the college, so your students know how and when to get a hold of you. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Any questions on any of the material that we've done so far? All good? No questions? All right, let me stop sharing for a second. All right, Jennifer, you didn't have a question anymore? You got your hand up? Lynn, you're okay now?
No,
more
I'm
questions?
I'm fine. That must have been from before.
Okay. All right, so this seems like a good point to take a break, let's say about 15 minutes, and then we will come back. I'm going to stop the recording now.